Election Day is 8 days away. Elon Local News is your election headquarters.
At the touch of a button, new technology hitting the market just in time for the holidays.
Looking back, a familiar face talks about his times at Elon.
We found some minor damage on campus because it's been a great day for weather here at Elon. I'm Brian Mazurski.
And I'm Katie Merrigy. All you need to know about Hurricane Sandy starts right now.
Wild weather. Hurricane Sandy's destructive path continues up the East Coast.
Joe Bruno joins us with more. Joe.
Good evening, Katie and Brian. The rain is just now beginning to fall, and it's a little windy as Elon just now starts to feel the effects of Hurricane Sandy. Now, if we take a trip 267 miles down east to Kill Devil Hills, you're going to find a different story. You'll find that Sandy's hitting the beach hard. Roads are flooding, and the beach is getting pounded as the inlet faces 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But Sandy brought a different gift to Western Carolina, snow. You are looking at Blowing Rock, North Carolina, about 2.5 hours from Elon, and projected to get a foot of snow. But the worst of the storm is up north. I spoke with one alumna who's forced to evacuate her apartment because of Hurricane Sandy.
My roommate and I have moved to a friend's apartment uptown for now, and all of the transportation's closed. All buses, all subways. The tunnels and bridges are closed, so we're basically all stuck where we are and can't leave the island.
And for those who have friends and family up north, be sure to give them a call and make sure they are okay. Let's take a look at your Phoenix 5-day forecast. We're going to have rain the rest of the night leading into tomorrow, but things are expected to calm down on Wednesday. It's going to be a chilly week, Elon. Highs will stay in the upper 50s, and make sure you button up when walking to your 8 a.m.s. Now that's your weather forecast live in downtown Elon. I'm Joe Bruno. Katie and Brian, back to you in the studio.
Elon Local News is your headquarters for Election 2012.
The election is almost a week away, and Elon Local News will have everything you need to know.
We are sending reporters to both Obama's and Romney's headquarters on election night, along with Pat McCrory and Walter Dalton's headquarters for the race for North Carolina State Governor.
Be sure to tune in to our live coverage on Election Day, starting at 7 p.m.
Some people are already heading to the polls. Our Rhonda Atala is live in the studio to tell us more. Rhonda.
Thank you, Brian. Early voting is easy. You could do it at the polls or just pop your ballot in the mail. The goal is to get people to vote before Election Day. According to the United States Election Board at George Mason University, 14 million people have already casted their ballots nationwide. Traditionally, early voting ballots are leaning towards the Democrats. Iowa is one of those states, also a swing state, and according to the Iowa Secretary of State's office, almost 500,000 early votes were casted as of Friday. Registered Democrats were 45.4% of those ballots, compared to the 31.9% for Republicans. In Colorado, on the other hand, Republicans have a small edge in early voting. According to the Secretary of State's office, there are 39% of votes are registered from Republicans, while Democrats represent 36% of the early votes. And Elon students are part of the early voting trend, and not just because they're early students, or not just because they're out-of-state students.
Voting for Romney early, and I think it's really important that he gets a lot of young voters to vote for him, is that was a huge trend for Barack Obama in 2008. A lot of young voters mostly voted for Barack Obama, and I think that if Romney really wants to pull away with this thing, he needs to get a lot of young voters to vote for him.
I voted early because I live in Maryland, so I had to do an absentee ballot, and it was really important to me to just hurry and get my vote out there so that I could ensure that my vote was being heard. I didn't want it to be late or anywhere close to the deadline, so I want to make sure that I was as effective and proactive as I was.
Let's jump back to the 2008 election. President Obama was the first Democrat to win the Tar Heel state in 32 years by 14,000 votes. Early voting in North Carolina started Thursday and has already surpassed the number of votes from 2008. According to the NC State Director of Elections, more than 8,000 votes were cast in the first day in 2008 at 5 sites across Wake County. And this year, 3 more early voting sites were open, receiving a little more than 11,000 votes on Thursday. That is a 42% increase. As of 5 p.m. Thursday, an average of 2,100 people voted each day in Alamance County, since the one-stop, no-excuse early voting policy began October 18th. We will follow these numbers and bring them back to you during the week. For now, I'm Rhonda Atala, ELN Local News.
As Rhonda mentioned, the president was the first Democrat in years to win North Carolina. And again, this election, North Carolina is considered a swing state. Most polls say North Carolina will go to Mitt Romney this election, but the most recent ELN poll says otherwise. The ELN poll now says North Carolina voters are split between Obama and Romney. Both candidates claim 45% of the vote in the state, and 5% of voters remain undecided. The latest ELN poll in August found Romney leading with 4 percentage points. But the current poll surveyed 1,238 voters and has a margin of error of 2.7%.
In just 8 days, Americans will head to the polls, so the candidates are in a final push through the swing states. The latest Politico projection gives President Obama 281 electoral votes, including the critical swing state of Ohio, where last week's CNN poll gave Obama a 4-point lead. Politico gives Governor Mitt Romney 257 electoral votes, including Florida, North Carolina, and Virginia.
Both presidential campaigns are busy trying to get some last-minute votes. Former President Bill Clinton was on the campaign trail with President Obama today. The pair hosted events in Florida and Ohio. Because of Hurricane Sandy, Obama was forced to cancel campaign events today and tomorrow in Virginia. The president will remain in Washington to monitor the storm.
Unaffected by the storm, Governor Romney is on the campaign trail. He hosted a rally in Iowa earlier today. Later tonight, he'll be at a rally in Wisconsin. Both Iowa and Wisconsin are major swing states in the presidential election. According to Politico.com, President Obama is projected to win these two states by only 2 percentage points. Hurricane Sandy didn't stop North Carolina gubernatorial candidate Pat McCrory from hosting a rally with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in North Carolina last Friday. More than 5,000 people gathered in a tobacco warehouse in Smithfield for a free barbecue dinner and bluegrass concert. The event came one day after Walter Dalton had a similar event in Charlotte. We spoke to Pat McCrory about why college students should vote for him.
Fix the economy so they can get a job instead of moving back in with their parents.
Thank you, sir.
You don't want to move back in with your parents, do you? They don't want you to move in with you either. So that's my goal, is to get college kids jobs so they can pay off all this student debt. There's no use having student debt if you can't get a job.
To talk about the issues in this election, we are joined by college Republican Jack Whalen and college Democrat Hannah Ignasher. Thank you two so much for joining us. And then Hannah, if we start with you, and Jack, if you'll quickly respond. What do you two both expect to come out of next Tuesday's election?
I have a really positive outlook about President Obama. I think it's going to be a really close election, and I'm not sure about North Carolina's outcome, but I think he has the overall vote.
I'd have to respectfully disagree. If you look at North Carolina, traditionally Democrats lead in early voting. Republicans are leading right now. Also, if you look at Ohio, Romney's competing. He's up 50% in the Gallup poll. That's unheard of someone that's not an incumbent running for office against an incumbent president. I think that Mitt Romney will actually surprise a lot of people on Tuesday.
And then, Hannah, with almost a week away, why do you think Obama is the best candidate in this election?
I think he just has a lot of good ideas. Although they might be controversial, I think he just needs time to get America back on its feet, and we definitely are heading in the right direction. I think everybody just needs to give him a chance to finish the job.
And Jack, why do you think Romney is the strongest candidate?
Well, I think you can look at Romney's experience both in the private sector and as governor of Massachusetts. He led a state that the state legislature was 87% Democrat. That's the kind of leader we need in Washington with the kind of divide that's going on right now. I also think that Barack Obama's a great president, but he's had his time. He didn't get done what he needed to do. It's time we put someone in office that has experience to do what's necessary.
Okay, great. Thank you two so much for being here, and we'll all be looking forward to next Tuesday. Katie, back to you.
The presidential debates are done, but ELN students had a debate of their own last week. Democrats, Republicans, independents, and international students gave their thoughts on same-sex marriage, the economy, and health care. The moderator, Dick Gordon of NPR, took questions from the audience after the debate.
One hot topic at the EU debate was ChickFilA.
An ongoing discussion between the ELN community that some students say has gone on far too long. Alex Rose has more.
The debate about keeping Chick-fil-A on ELN's campus received national attention from major news outlets like Fox News Channel and the Huffington Post. Some students say the situation is blown out of proportion.
ELN University is like a relatively small private college. Why is, the Chick-fil-A kind of scandal getting so much national attention?
It was embarrassing. No one really won. The whole thing blew out of proportion. It wasn't handled well by the administration or SGA as a whole.
Both sides of the argument agree on one thing. The situation has given Elon a bad name.
I am tired of dealing with it. I've worn out a lot of my energy and going into it, and I just want to be like, okay, can I be a student again?
Are you sick and tired of kind of hearing about this?
I am. Elon is, as students here, this is all we have. When we leave here, we have the name of Elon, and the way that is being portrayed right now is not good.
Miner says the situation has gotten worse.
It's doing nothing but causing a divide with the campus, and it's going to cause greater tension.
Open discussions started with good intentions, but students on both sides say it brought unneeded tension.
I think for Elon's campus, this needed to happen. We like to act like our campus is really, diverse, inclusive, and everybody's okay with everything, but in reality, it's not.
We cannot continue down this path of bringing up topics like this because it is detrimental to the school and it is a public relations nightmare.
The final verdict on Chick-fil-A will come from the administration, and until then, the conversations will continue. Alex Rose, Elon Local News.
A study committee will research campus vendor policy and will present its findings to the Board of Trustees later this year for a final verdict on Chick-fil-A.
Coming up on Elon Local News.
I think it's the aesthetic.
We'll tell you about some new technology that's catching the eye of students.
He no longer works here, but Elon still sticks close to his heart.
Halloween fun, how you can make your own costume cheap. Coming up.
Just in time for the holiday season, technology giants introduce brand new products to the market. I took a look at some of the new products that will hit the shelves.
Technology has become the center of the college campus.
If you don't have technology in your life now, then you're going to be left behind ultimately. Like, you have to integrate it now before we have so much of it that you're just left in the dust.
New products released this week will try and make it into the hands of students. And what might be the most radical introduction? Windows 8 from Microsoft. The software replaces its 3-decade-old PC operating system, getting rid of that infamous start button. Windows 8 wants to act more like a dashboard of what's happening in your life. But most of the attention this week was focused on something smaller.
This is iPad mini.
The latest Apple gadget is 1/3 smaller than the original iPad and will try to compete with smaller tablets like Amazon's Kindle.
We've gone from the iPod Touch to the iPad mini, and then it seems like the tablets fall everywhere in between.
The Google Nexus 7, the Kindle Fire HD, and the Barnes & Noble Nook HD, all tablets just under $200. Apple's iPad mini, $329. And Microsoft also got in the competition this week by launching its own tablet called Surface, priced the highest at $499. More competitors are expected to get into this space, which is going to mean more choices for consumers.
Our generation has that, fascination with aesthetic. We want the newest thing, and we want the thing that looks the nicest.
So 'tis the season for students to start their tech wish lists.
For computers and software like Windows, Campus Technology says it takes about a year for them to consider whether or not to upgrade to that system here on campus. Campus Tech likes to give time for all the bugs and issues to be worked out before upgrading campus computers.
A new dining option. Elon Dining has announced a limited time meal plan. It's called 25 Block and gives you a total of 25 meal swipes at McEwen or Colonnades Dining Hall, as well as 50 meal dollars. This offer is only for those previously without a meal plan and will be available for $225 from the bursar's office until October 31st. An Elon legend no longer works for Aramark. Now he's moving on and trying to get by. Steve Roth talked to the employee who some students say made Elon Dining.
It gave me a kick in the teeth.
Former Acorn and Octagon employee Eddie Talley was fired on October 11th, but he's been a well-known personality for Elon students over the past 7 years.
I don't know how many times y'all been in Acorn and I would be standing at the register and everybody be quiet, and all of a sudden I'd tell everybody to smile and don't look so sad, That was just me trying to make people feel good.
Aside from his memories from Acorn, Talley had a radio show on WSOE, but was told he couldn't do it anymore.
Not only getting fired from my job, losing that at the same time, that was kind of hard. You know, they could have let me do a final show.
And Tally says there's nothing he misses more about Elon than the students.
Y'all like my little brothers and sisters.
Without a job, Tally began thinking about a way he could reconnect with students and also bring in some money.
These here, they're plastic. And so I'd have to sell these for a little more than what I do in the bag.
The town of Elon told Tally he needed a permit to sell the popcorn. Now he worries about what will happen as he awaits his unemployment checks.
And I still got my bills to pay the next couple of months. Don't know how I'm going to pay them.
Tally has been looking around for jobs and sent in an application to the Piedmont Triad Farmers Market in Greensboro in hopes of selling popcorn there. Steve Roth, Elon Local News.
Though Tally is no longer on WSOE, he now has an online radio show of his own. It's called Route 66 Radio, and he plays oldies music. It airs on Friday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. The link can be found on Eddie's Facebook page.
Silky and smooth, chemically straightened hair is familiar to some Elon students. It's known as a relaxer or perm. But there's a new campus craze. Naima Abdullahi joins us in the studio with more.
Thank you, Brian. This is a relaxer kit found at any drugstore for about $5. It comes with a cream and an activator, which is applied to coarse textured hair to loosen the strands and make it look straight. But some Elon students are starting to say no to the relaxer and yes to natural hair.
Sophomore Avia Payne has been getting a relaxer in her hair since she was 10.
Instead of having to do a lot of stuff to it, like I just unwrap it and brush it and that's it, and it's straight.
She brushes her hair in a circular motion and puts a scarf on it so that it stays neat overnight. But a new hairstyle has become popular, embracing your roots. Some Elon students like senior Alexa Sykes made a decision to grow out their natural hair.
Natural meant that I was being true to my own identity, and I cut off all of the straight hair that I had. I stopped putting chemicals in my hair.
Sykes now makes her own products and treats her hair very carefully.
Having natural hair does not mean you can't achieve the straight look. It just requires a lot more hours.
I could pull this back, I could braid it, I could do so many, I could straighten it if I wanted to. I choose not to.
Senior Camille Hills says that going natural is a trend that won't last.
I just kind of made the comparison of bell-bottom jeans and leggings. You know, it's going to come, everybody's going to want to do it, but then at the same time, it's going to quickly go away.
Hairstylist Tia Shepard at A New Look Hair Salon in Burlington says that whether you have relaxed hair or not, you have to constantly care for it.
You really have to still maintain your hair. It requires more work, more moisturizing, no matter if it's relaxed or natural.
For Elon Local News, I'm Naima Abdullahi.
Coming up on Elon Local News, cutting costs on costumes. We have some tips.
The Holly Hill Mall got a little spooky this weekend. I'll tell you why after the break.
We apologize for our technical difficulties, but check our website for Naima's full story. ELN told you last week that Americans are estimated to spend nearly $2.5 billion on Halloween costumes. And this week, our Addie Haney will keep the horror of spending money out of your Halloween costume shopping.
There's no mistake, Halloween has come to Elon. But with the current economy and a college student's budget, it's hard to find a great costume at a reasonable price. Costumes at specialty shops like Party City and even chains like Target can cost anywhere from $30 to $70. But if you're willing to get a little creative, handmade costumes can save you money, and that's where your local craft store may come in handy.
Now I'm here in Hobby Lobby and the first thing I see is Christmas, so why not run with that theme and go with the holidays on Halloween?
Bows, tinsel, and ornaments are all easy and cheap ways to add character to your costume.
Now I'm seeing a lot of red and white, so why not be a candy cane? So let's see, I'll take some of these, and why not some of these?
The end of October is when many stores start gearing up for the holidays, and to draw in customers, seasonal items are often marked down.
The key to shopping for a costume on a budget is sales. And since the holidays haven't hit yet, now's the perfect time to find those supplies for cheap.
Hobby Lobby was no exception. I found many of my items on sale for 40% off or more.
Okay, I've got everything I need. I got my t-shirt, my tinsel, poof balls. Now all that's left to do is check out.
In-store sales are the best way to shop on a budget, but coupons are another way to squeeze out even more savings.
After all the discounts in the coupon, my total comes down to $12.13. That's what I call a deal.
Addie Haney, Elon Local News.
For more ideas on how to make your own Halloween costumes, check out websites like Pinterest.com and RealSimple.com.
La Cocina and Yozone bring customers to the mall for some good food. But this weekend, a different kind of event brought people to the Holly Hill Mall. Nicole Bloom has the story.
There were creepy costumes, scary makeup, and thrilling dancing.
We're just here at the Zombie Walk, promoting some pretty good charities. Obviously out here trying to get some good scares. I guess my favorite part is just scaring people. Makeup took about an hour and 15 minutes.
With spooky faces, the zombies raised money for local charities. After turning into The Walking Dead, their main goal was not to frighten the crowd, but to get the crowd to donate. But they did enjoy a few scares.
Making grown men cry is kind of fun too, but you know.
Alyssa Padmos is a local high school student taking classes at Elon University. She has a visual disability, but that hasn't stopped her from taking part in the Zombie Walk.
It's not, you know, too common to see someone who can see but still has to use a cane. Everyone's just been awesome, and it's, you know, some of the best friends I've made are here.
With more than 200 people in the crowd and plenty of donations, Padmos felt like she made a difference.
I just got involved this year, but it's been like the best thing I've ever done.
Nicole Bloom, Elon Local News.
And also, in cross-country news, see if the women backed up their #1 preseason ranking at the SoCon Championship on Saturday. Beating some of the nation's finest is not an unfamiliar task for the men's soccer team. Nationally ranked teams UNC Charlotte, West Virginia, and Furman fell victim to the maroon and gold earlier in the season. The streak continued on Tuesday with the Phoenix taking down their 4th nationally ranked opponent, Wake Forest. The only goal on the game was punched in by Chris Thomas on a penalty kick. You can see here he's fouled. He would line this one up and punch it right in the left-hand corner to make it 1-0. That was his 50th goal of the season. After the Phoenix took the lead in the 16th minute, the rest of the game was a defensive battle, keeping goalie Nathan Dean busy and giving the Liverpool, England native his 5th shutout of the season. Here's Thomas reacting to another victory over a top-ranked team in the country.
Another ranked opponent, it feels good because we feel like that's where we should be, and that's who the teams we should be playing, and that's who we look forward to playing in the next couple weeks of our season.
The men's and women's cross-country teams competed in Charleston, South Carolina for the SoCon Championship this weekend. The women took 2nd place overall to Appalachian State, losing by only 4 points. Top freshman runner Elise Beirut took 8th place overall, leading the Phoenix, and had this to say about her team's championship performance.
I think we did very well yesterday. We came up a little bit short, but I think we all ran really tough, and even though it didn't come out exactly how we wanted it to, I'm really proud of everybody, and I think everyone worked as hard as they could.
This past weekend marked the last home game for the senior ladies on the volleyball team. And what a way to go out as the Phoenix took home both wins this weekend in Alumni Gym against Appalachian State and Western Carolina. These 2 wins followed another pair of conference wins at home last weekend, giving the ladies a 4-game winning streak against conference opponents at home. The Phoenix won Saturday's match against the Catamounts in 4 sets, but the first 3 sets could not have been closer, with only 2 points separating the teams in each set. Saturday night was senior night. Here's what Allie Deach had to say about an incredible experience.
I wouldn't change this experience for the world, and finishing it strong just is like the epitome of, you know, the experience that I've had here. I don't think it's really hit me yet that I won't be playing in this gym again.
Some young baseball players are looking forward to pro careers. Pro Day is when scouts from 30 major league teams come to Elon to watch our players. They evaluate skill and attitude to see if an upcoming junior or senior looks ready for the big leagues. Former minor league player and now head coach Mike Kennedy believes the upperclassmen have a lot of potential. And for senior pitcher Nate Young, he is well on his way to making his dream come true.
My lifelong team has always been the Atlanta Braves. They're my dad's favorite team, also was my grandparents' favorite team. And I did get a letter from them, so it was a very cool experience.
ELN has been dressing up in pink to show support for breast cancer awareness. One nonprofit called Little Pink Houses of Hope co-sponsored a Pink Out Week with ELN sports teams and Zeta Tau Alpha. The week ended with a tailgate and football game this Saturday. Sports fans were decked out in their pink to show their support.
Thanks, Jimmy, and thank you for joining us for this ELN Local News. Check out our website all throughout the week, elonlocalnews.com.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
We have tons of coverage coming at you this next week. Be sure to tune in to our live coverage on Election Day starting at 7 p.m., but we'll be back right here next Monday at 6 p.m.
For all of us here at ELN Local News, have a great week, ELN.
Nice job there.